Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is a video I'm gonna be answering some questions and just talking about like acting and just things that I've been slowly incorporating into my TikTok. Any other questions that I didn't answer, feel free to comment them below. But without further ado, let's get into it. So to begin, I have always been a very dramatic person. As a kid, I would do like little performances with my cousins and like I was constantly singing. I was actually singing before I could walk, which is wild. But I've grown up in a very musical family. It was just always a big part of me, performing in front of people. And I didn't even know how big of a part of my life it would be. So my early audition days, as a kid, I was auditioning for commercials. I didn't stick with that. Instead, I kind of eventually veered into musical related stuff, choir, a cappella groups, musical theater, plays, that kind of thing, talent shows. I feel like I got into acting a lot more in high school because I was taking theater and IB theater, and then I was in several shows and a cappella groups and that kind of thing, and I feel like that really helped get me out of my shell and just like be more comfortable performing and auditioning. So I got into acting, I feel like, in just like the film industry in general. I started seeing it as like an option for myself after watching La La Land in 2016. It was just like one of those things where I was like, this character Mia is so real, and like things don't have to look perfect, and it can still be like your dream, and you can take a really slow approach at it and then be really happy in the end. Originally I started with writing and directing, and have done like some short plays, and I've done like 10-minute plays for my class that I took in college. I've dealt with a lot of anxiety over the years, and that was honestly like my biggest obstacle whenever it came to auditions and performing. But I feel like since I started prioritizing my mental health and working on my anxiety and just like finding different ways to like let the anxious energy out, I feel like I've been so much more comfortable and like been able to manage the anxiety part of auditioning, and I feel so much less pressure about auditioning, and I just feel excited whenever I audition now. And honestly, I go into it without any expectations. Like, I hope for the best, but I don't expect that to happen because it doesn't always happen that way. I started slowly letting the film industry stuff leak into my TikTok some, and I liked posting film reviews and videos relating to films that I had watched. Basically at the end of 2023, I had a moment where I was like, I'm tired. Like, I don't want to go into 2024 with all this anxious energy and like taking opportunities away from myself because in the past I have turned down auditions or not performed to the best of my ability because I let the anxiety get in the way. And I feel like removing that pressure and realizing life's too short and why shouldn't I be doing the things that I enjoy now rather than hoping that the anxiety completely goes away one day. I'm realizing that I can work with the anxiety and it can be a thing to boost my energy before an audition, kind of turning that nervous energy into momentum. So yeah, I have a lot of fun acting, and I feel like I didn't believe in myself very much before all this, but now I'm like, who cares about the secondhand embarrassment that I might feel uploading a video on TikTok of me acting? Because everyone starts somewhere. You don't have to have like a ton of money to start things. Like, I started my early auditions with free options, and even the Zombies audition was free for me on Actors Access to submit, which I am paying now because I want more opportunities to audition. You don't need to like invest a ton of money in a setup. I had this ring light gifted to me and it's been helpful, but like I didn't need it. I had another lamp. It's just been an added bonus for doing self-tapes. I'm using a sheet right now as a backdrop on my wall. I'll show that at the end. Yeah, so I send in my auditions directly to casting companies if there's an open casting call and they need it through email or whatever. but Actors Access is just a lot easier to navigate, and I feel like they have it all right there for you. How did you find an agent? So I don't have an agent yet. I feel like I'm gonna need one eventually, but right now I'm really loving doing things independently and enjoying the control that I do have right now in terms of like navigating auditions, and there are certainly a lot of benefits to having an agent. I'm doing things on my own right now and I'm doing okay. And then lastly, how did you get headshots taken? So I'll do a little demonstration actually before this is over. But I actually take my own, and I use like whatever backdrop. I have a gray blanket that I use, and then my ring light, and I just use the natural setting. Or you can just use like literally stand in front of your window and have someone hold up a sheet behind you, and it worked for me. So if you have any other questions, you can comment them below and I will get to them as fast as I can. Or if you want to comment on my TikTok, Weasley or whatever, with any questions. I'm semi-new to Actors Access, so I'm still learning, but I am happy to answer any questions that you may have about that as well. And yeah, thanks for watching. So now I'm going to show you how I do my headshots. This is going to be so interesting. I'm not sure how it's going to go. So basically, there's a backdrop behind me. You can use whatever. I use a gray blanket usually for the headshots, but this also works. And I just use portrait mode, turn my camera this way. I'm going to do a little demonstration video. So none of my audio saved for this clip, but basically I was just telling you should go to portrait mode, natural light, and then you can crop these pictures afterwards, but you're gonna do your little pose, take your headshots, whatever shows what you want, and your personality the most, and yeah, it's easy enough, and then you just edit them in an app with lighting adjustments and whatever you need.